welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since, and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Welcome along. It is a very cold, what day is it? Sunday evening. And it's 6.5 degrees here in Shed Quarters. Paul Hayward has had a pre-match meal of Marmite on toast. Right, the thing is, does anybody know why, Clive, why can't we see anyone else? Because the reason I put it on Mayfield was so that we could see other runners running around the track who are not in the event. And anyway, because we can only see if I'd known this, I would have put us on a different route. But as it is, it looks like we're going to run around the track for 50 minutes, which is a bit boring. I apologise for that. Hello Tina, hello Clive, hello Paul Hayward, thanks for joining us. Well, I don't think I did make it a closed event. But I can't remember seeing an option for it to be open or closed. Oh well, a hermetic. It's a hermetically sealed event, says Victoria. But that's a shame, but never mind. We'll just we'll get on with it. Yeah, I just wanted it to be with loads of people on the track. So I've obviously met it's closed by default, says Tina. Yeah, that's a shame. Also, the phone that I use again is dead. It's been doing this a lot recently. It's when I come to start a live stream, the phone that I use is dead for the chat, and I have to wait ages for it to warm up and turn on.
Hello all. Hello Sarah. She says if Marcus Holmes can run 18 miles on the track, surely you can handle 50 minutes. Fair point, Sarah.
Yeah, it would just have been nice if there'd been some other people on the track as well to run with, as well as Clive, Paul and Tina and Vic, you know. But never mind. It's fine. We'll cope. We'll survive. And we are watching the football, by the way. The whole point we're here, as Tina is always the first to sign up to these events, is to watch the football. But Energy Clap says, where's the football? Well, we are watching the football while we run. So, look, I've got the football on my phone here, but I can't show it on the screen because it's against copyright, isn't it? I know that you'll find that with all football watch-alongs. They don't actually show, if you go to any watch-along, you know, with them sitting on their sofas or whatever, you've seen them, haven't you? They watch the football on their sofa or at their desk, and they film themselves watching the football, but they don't show you. They don't show you the football. Yeah, Sarah Jacobson, as has become customary, is watching from the couch. Victoria and I both dressed in black and both still with our jumpers on. You cold? I'm not cold. Well, I'd be colder if I didn't have my jumper on. 19 degrees in Paul Hayward's garage. Blimey, that's warm. It's freezing here. Well, it's about 7 degrees here in shed quarters. Right, once again, as has become customary, Sarah Jacobson is trying to mitigate the fact that she's sitting on the sofa by telling us how far she ran yesterday. So she ran 18 miles yesterday, which is good going. But once again, we have no actual evidence of that. Nothing. We need a Strava activity file link, Sarah. Right, it's okay. 0-0, 5 minutes gone in the match between England and Senegal. And it's 0-0. England wearing all white, Senegal wearing all green. And looks like England having the majority of the possession at the moment. Sorry. Oh, yeah. Hello, Darren. Paul Hayward has no windows or doors open in the garage, so that's why it's warmed up a bit in there. It's definitely warming up in here as well. It's creeping up. It's 7.3 degrees in here now. Paul Hayward's got his layers off. Let's see how many laps of the track we four can do in 50 minutes. 5 minutes gone. $5,000 kilometres running and now hit 200 kilometres. 200 kilometres cycling. Well done, Darren. Good job. Oh yeah, Darren, did you do your 30k today? To get yourself to 5,000k on Zwift. So it's not totally uncommon for us to run on a Sunday evening, but it has become less common. We've tended to take the weekends off, but when we have a special event or something we want to do, like tonight, then we will run. And you'll find that when we come to doing the Paris Marathon training from January, we will be running at the weekend, either on a Saturday or a Sunday. I know that Chris Beale is now going to be broadcasting on a Saturday evening, so we might have to move our Paris Marathon long run to a Sunday evening. You want to do it on a Saturday, do you? So we'll have to do it later than Chris Beale then. So I hope you enjoyed Chris Beale's stream yesterday. It was nicely professionally done, wasn't it? It looked good. It's the 3rd of April, Darren. I think Paris is the 3rd of April. Yeah, the first Sunday in April. Whatever the first Sunday is, that's the Paris Marathon date, and I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd of April. Hello, Heather. She's watching after doing an outdoor run today, outdoor trail run today. Well done, Heather. Darren, 200 kilometres for the week, not in total. I was surprised that was such a low total for his entirety on Zwift. 200 kilometres. I know that because Darren cycles quite regularly on Zwift. Yes, I'm glad you are over 200 kilometres in total. Yeah, Darren says excellent streaming by Chris. Yeah, it was. He did a nice, smooth stream. It looked good. It looked professional. So I'm hoping that we can carry that on a Saturday. And yeah, Darren, if you want to get involved, Sarah Jacobson is still umming and ahhing about getting involved, and Adam Holland still hoping that he could get his computer set up, sorted up there in Scotland. I know the internet is probably not quite so fantastic up where he is in the Highlands of Scotland. Heather says her husband is watching the football, and Heather is watching us watching the football. Right, so the football currently is 9 minutes in, nearly 10 minutes in, still 0-0. New video up on the Film I Run channel this evening. Just a very short one of my efforts at the Sussex cross-country race yesterday. 8k around one of the parks in Brighton called Stanmer Park. So video is now out on the channel. It's only 4 minutes or so, not very long. But Tina already says she agrees with Victoria's comments about my inefficient running style yesterday. You'll have to watch the video to see. And so yeah, now we've just hit 10 minutes. 10 minutes into the England-Senegal World Cup round of 16 match. There has to be a winner tonight. So if it's 0-0 at the end of the game, it'll go to extra time. If it's 0-0 after half an hour of extra time, it will go to a penalty shootout. We've had 3 round of 16 games in the World Cup so far, and all of them have been won within the 90 minutes, within the regulation 90 minutes. So no extra time, no penalties yet. Thank you, Darren. Darren says, Ellis, my son Ellis. We took some photographs of Ellis running yesterday in his cross-country race. Darren says, Ellis's stride looks on fire. Your son has mega talent. Thank you, Darren. We do think he has got potential, so we just need to nurture it right to make sure that we don't, lose his fire and desire for running. So let's see how it goes over the next few years. Yeah, he was in the under-13s cross-country race yesterday, and of course he's only 11, so there were boys a lot older than him in the race yesterday. So hopefully next year he'll be a year older, a year more experienced, and a year faster. Yesterday he came 34th, I think, something around about 34th in the race. So not too bad. Room for improvement as he matures. I've not had a look at the Makuri running kit. What's it? Oh, you mean for completing the run? Yes, the tour of Makuri Islands. Yes, nice. So we are just running round and round and round the Mayfield track, and you can see that there's just 4 of us. For some reason, Clive has got lost. I don't know why Clive's all the way back there. Clive, why are you so far behind? Have you had a technical problem? Oh yeah, there's 5 of us because Clive is speeding ahead. Maybe Clive's trying to do like extra fast. Right, Victoria is shedding layers. I don't feel quite ready to shed layers just yet. Hello, Nikki. Nikki says, hi, Stephen and Victoria. And everyone running. Sorry to miss this one. Goal to all. Nikki being very diplomatic there, saying she hopes everyone scores. Unfortunately, it can't be a draw at the end. Right, I missed what Clive said then. He said it helps to keep the nerves down. So what, is he running faster just to keep the nerves at bay? Clive gets very excited and very nervous about England games. I think I'm just a bit more cynical, older and cynical, and I just take what comes. I never expect too much, so if we win, it's all good. If we lose, I'd expected it anyway, so it's no surprise. We've got 35 minutes more left to run, 15 minutes done. And Tina Beard couldn't care less about the football score. She's lying, really. I mean, the only reason she joins these runs is so she can chat with everybody about the football. So it's nice to see a few people in on the chat there. Darren and Nikki, Tina and Heather and Clive and Paul. If you are watching, we're on YouTube on the Zwift Run channel. We are on Twitch on the Zwift Run channel. And we're on Facebook on the Film My Run page. But we do try and congregate people together on YouTube for the chat. So head over to YouTube if you want to continue watching and join in some of the chat on the YouTube chat page. All we're doing is we are watching the England versus Senegal World Cup match for the first half, just until half time, and then we can go and have a shower and watch the second half in our pyjamas on the sofa whilst eating warm chocolate cookies and planning out the next 4 months of marathon training. Oh, vegan caramel cookies is what Victoria has warmed up for us. So I had one just before we came on. I'm going to have another one when we finished. Unless the kids have eaten them all. The kids took charge of decorating the Christmas tree today, and they refused to allow me to put the lights on first because they said that would take ages and they'd have to wait ages. So they have gone ahead and simply thrown a ton of baubles and tinsel all over the tree. And I'm going to have to try and fit the lights around all that later on tonight. Looking forward to that. Clive talking about his son and his football, saying how they've had to be careful not to push him too much so he loses the love. But now he enjoys it, so that's all good. Yeah, just about, making sure you don't push your kids too hard into activities so that they lose the love for them and don't want to do them. Right, Paul Hayward, controversially, says, put the lights on last so they don't get hidden. See, I was always taught you put the lights on first, and then you decorate the tinsel around the lights. Yeah, Tina says lights always first. Heather says good for them. John Farrell, good evening to you. Clive Finnemore says, we have a funny saying in our family. There's no good telling me that without telling me what the funny saying is, Clive. But I do feel he's going to tell us. Don't corn beef and pickle it. Don't corn beef and pickle it. That sounds like a Dorset phrase. Cornish madness. When I was younger, I loved corned beef and pickle sandwiches. How do I eat too many? Oh, I ate too many of them and now I can't stand them. I see, okay, yes. He's not talking about Christmas lights and tinsel. He's talking about pushing your children too hard in sports and other things. If you do too much when you're younger, you will hate it when you're older. Or you'll be pushed away from it when you're older. And also, like the reverse, where if you deny your children sweets and things like that when they're young, they'll go overboard on them when they're 18 and they can do what they like. Or 16 or 12. Yes, notice John Farrell there. Yeah, with the snowflakes. Yeah, we have always allowed our children to decorate the tree, which has led to some embarrassing and amusing times at Christmas when Victoria and I would never... You know how people take a photograph of their Christmas tree and post it on social media for everyone to see how lovely and Christmassy their rooms are? Okay, right, Victoria says she would always take photos. However, not without posting it with some kind of amusing comment, just making sure that everybody knows we did let the children decorate the tree. Yeah, you know how you're supposed to kind of put the smaller baubles at the top and then gradually increase the size of the bauble as you go further down the tree? Well, everything, when the kids were younger, everything was all topsy-turvy and they'd put massive baubles right at the highest point of the tree. There'd be no colour coordination in the tinsel and it would be just thrown on. Oh yeah, that was the other thing. Yes, quite a lot of the time they couldn't reach the top. So there would be no tinsel at the top and then just like half the tree covered in loads of tinsel at the bottom. Paul Hayward says just throw it on, it always looks good. Tina says my decorations take days to put up.
Heather said she listened to a really fascinating Rich Roll podcast when they discussed age classification for children in sport versus when their bodies actually physically mature. Heather, I've only in the last few weeks been learning about how children mature in their body, and I've heard that the heart can grow at a different rate to the body, and sometimes children have to stop running to allow their heart to catch up.
21 minutes gone. England against Senegal. The score is still 0-0. So it looks like this half is going the same way as many other halves of football in this first halves of football in this World Cup. Very few goal opportunities in the first halves. The second halves are always the more exciting and entertaining halves. John Farrell says, snowflakes, footballs. Yes, it was a little bit far away for me to see those icons, those GIFs. So, yeah, now I look closer. They're not snowflakes, they are footballs. Sorry, John. Need to get my eyes tested. Yeah, we are over halfway through in our 50-minute run. No, we're not. Sorry, tell a lie. No, am I drunk? No, I'm looking at the wrong thing. 23 minutes done, 26 to go. Yeah. And 22 minutes gone in the football with Senegal attacking. And Senegal, oh! Goal wave action there. Senegal almost scoring. Very close. Yeah, we are winning 0-0. Exactly. I don't know how far behind my phone is from the real action. But yes, Senegal just then had a real chance on goal, which they put over.
Heather says in the podcast they had children who scored low in their age classification, which then put them off sport. But when they looked at how their bodies had matured versus others, they actually scored much higher. It's really interesting stuff. Ellis, our son, is quite small. I think, well, maybe he's average. He looks quite small compared to some of the other children in his races. So he's having to put in a hard effort, which I'm hoping when he then grows, he'll then have more power. And we do keep telling him, look at this as a long-term goal. Which, bless him, he really is doing. And he has so much passion and enthusiasm for running.
Yeah, but it is a balance. Alfredo Mendez has joined us. Hello, Alfredo. Nice to meet you. Nice to have you with us. Right, Clive Finnemore is back with us and now passing us through again. So he's going slightly faster. He's going at 10 kph. So he's done a lap more than us now, 400 metres more, and is pushing on. So anybody who wants to go and run with Clive is doing 10 kph. We're sticking at 9 kph here. But yes, we do. Obviously, we do. We are aware that Ellis is very young. And so we're aware, A, that we don't want to push him too hard so he loses his love for the sport. And B, that his body does need to mature. And which is why we're limiting the amount of long distance running he does. You know, he's very keen on long distance, and when I say long distance, half marathons, and he's even asked us if he can do a marathon, and we've said no, not yet. But he has done 2 half marathons, but we did do them on the hills, which he's done 3 half marathons, which we did on the hills slowly. So there's plenty of walking, plenty of rest stops, plenty of food and drink on the way. But we've and he's been desperate to do them, and he really would like to do a marathon, but we've resisted his requests to do a marathon. So hopefully we can stave that off for another 2 or 3 years before he finally does persuade us that he can do a marathon. Oh yeah. Clive says, just wait until girlfriends come into the equation. Yeah, that'll drag him away. Yeah, I think you might be right. but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Well, we are definitely well over halfway in now. 27 minutes gone, 22 to go. Excuse me. Alfredo has just done a Cooper test. He's going to run at an easy pace to recover with us. Good to have you on board, Alfredo. We are at 4 kilometres now, well over 4 kilometres, so we might well get... where are we now? So we'll get 7k in by the end, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the score. I'm sure everybody would tell us if there was a goal. We are 27 minutes into the match. England against Senegal in the World Cup round of 16. And it looks like, again, England have got the majority of the possession. Just kicking it around at the back in defence, looking for an opening. It'd be interesting to see exactly what the percentages of possession to England have been in the first half. Obviously, I've not been glued to the screen, so I haven't been watching it all, but looks like this little section I'm watching now is total England possession at the back and just kind of teasing their way into midfield, just looking for an opening. But 0-0 at the moment with about 17 minutes to go to the end of the first half, given no injury time, but there's obviously going to be a couple of minutes at least of injury time to add on, which is why I made the event 50 minutes rather than 45. I'm starting to warm up now. Hands are nice and warm. It is 10.4 degrees Celsius here in Shed Quarters on this Sunday evening as we run around the Mayfield track doing our World Cup watch along. And should England get through to the next round, we will do another World Cup watch along for the quarter final, which would be against France. So the quarter final against France, if we get through, we'll do another World Cup watch along next week. Tomorrow, Monday, Clive will be doing the community run. And then I'll be back on Tuesday for the Film My Run 500 in the morning. And we'll do something in the evening. Wednesday will be Wednesday workout in the evening. Thursday, back on for the Film My Run 500. And then bag that badge on Thursday evening. And then we'll do something else on Friday. Haven't decided quite what yet.
Right on!
Less than 20 minutes to go of our run now. Just nice and easy. Relaxed Sunday evening. Round the track. Thanks for the ride-ons that are dropping, by the way. Yes, I could just drop some ride-ons on people's heads here who are running with us. That's everyone, I think. No, Tina. Senegal have just had a good chance, apparently. So that's the second... Well, as far as I've seen, that's 2 good chances now for Senegal. I haven't heard of any any good chance. No, I haven't had any good chances for England yet. But as I say, I haven't been watching it all totally for the time we've been running. So England may have had a chance, but I would have thought somebody would have let us know. "31 minutes gone in the first half. England against Senegal." Oh, my picture seems to have frozen for some reason. 32 minutes gone. England again, just playing it around at the back. Ball with goalkeeper Pickford. I don't know what, if anybody's watching it like full on, it looks like it's a fairly dull game at the moment with kind of sporadic incidents. Is that what's occurring, or? Oh, chance? No, not really a chance. Half chance for England then. Neil Messenger says Pickford made an excellent save. Well done, Neil Pickford. 5 kilometres done with 16 minutes to go of the run. Tina B says, "I know nothing, but it looks dull." Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing, Tina. It looks pretty dull at the moment. So hopefully it'll get spicy in the second half. It's bound to get a little bit spicy as the time draws near to the finish. If England or Senegal, if they want to save some energy for the later rounds, they will not want it to go. They will not want it to go to extra time and penalties. John Farrell says, "Yeah, it is a bit dull." Well, I'm glad we've chosen the first half to do the run. We can have a quick shower, and fingers crossed the second half will be a little bit more interesting. Clive, interesting point. He says, "England have not scored during any of our runs." Oh, have they they have scored during one of them, have they? When did they score? Which run was that? In fact, was it the first? Yes, it must have been the first run when they played Iran. They played Iran and they scored 3 goals in the first half, didn't they? Okay, Neil says we're 2 minutes in front of him for some reason. Try refreshing your browser on the match. Neil, you've probably got backed up for some reason on your internet. So try refreshing it and you should get back up to date. Looks like a corner to Senegal. No, throw in to Senegal. Right up at the far end of the pitch where England are defending the goal. And it is defended by England, and time for a break, time for an attack. A bit late for a break now, but they are moving up the pitch, out to the left wing. Bit of space. Bit scrappy in the midfield. No, there's the match. Look, watching on my phone. Can't really see very much there, can you? 35 minutes gone now in England versus Senegal round of 16 game. A free kick to Senegal halfway into the England half on the left-hand side of the pitch. Oh, if you're watching it on Roku, yeah, you might just have... That just might be satellite delay. If the Roku server is in the United States, you might have a bit of a delay because of that. You can just watch it on the ITV website, of course. Just go to ITVX and you can watch it on there. It should be more up to date on there, I think.
Right on.
Right, Senegal about to take this free kick. 12 minutes of our run to go. My phone has now just decided to come on. My Zwift phone. Right, free kick taken. Doesn't reach the first man and kicked away by England. But Senegal have it back on the right-hand side of the pitch. Yeah, Tina's watching it on ITVX. Yeah, it should be. You should get a better signal on ITVX. Goal! A goal! What, for Senegal? No. Okay. Somebody says goal for England. Right, Clive says goal for England. So let's keep watching. Goal England. John Farrell. England have scored. But let's see how far I am behind. I must be at least a minute behind then. 37 minutes 45 seconds on here. So here we go. Let's see what happens. Down the left wing. Here we go. Down the left wing. Crossed in. And there it is. Who scored that? Jordan Henderson scores. Or is it Bellingham scores? Jude Bellingham or Jordan Henderson. England in the lead, 1-0. Simple run down the left wing and crossed in from the left and virtually a tap in for, I think it must be Jude Bellingham. Unless it's the other way around, unless it was Bellingham who crossed it and Henderson scored. See, let me try and look at this. Yeah, so Bellingham slides the ball across, and it is Jordan Henderson of Liverpool who scores for England. And Jude Bellingham, a potential signing for Liverpool. 6K done in 40 minutes for us. What? Oh dear. Oh right, Heather's in trouble because she heard that England had scored before her husband had even seen the goal. So she spoiled her husband's delight and joy because he already knew it was going to happen. Brilliant. Okay, so 1-0 England. Jordan Henderson. Yeah, so Jordan Henderson plays for Liverpool. And Jude Bellingham, who crossed the ball in, is a major target for Liverpool to sign in the January transfer window. So we'll see if Jude Bellingham comes to play for Liverpool. Because he's one heck of an exciting talent at the moment. So Heather's in trouble. Right, we've got 9 minutes left of our run here. There are 4 minutes left of the first half. England against Senegal. Obviously, there will be some added time at the end, so slightly more than 4 minutes of time. Victoria, anything to say about the football? No, not at all. Sarah Jacobson, anything to say about the football, the soccer? Tina Beard, anything to say about the football at all? Any pearls of wisdom, interesting comments on the state of the English game or the current World Cup placings, how everybody's doing? How do we think Argentina are doing? Lots of people were going on about how fantastic Messi was yesterday for Argentina. In all honesty, I didn't think he played. I mean, he played well, but all the plaudits that everyone was giving him, I didn't think he played that well. He was okay. Paul Hayward says the Queen's Park Rangers goalkeeper is on the bench for Senegal. Blah, 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 says Tina. Yeah, we took Victoria. Yesterday morning, I had to get up stupid early because we had to take Victoria over to Eastbourne to do some testing at the physiology labs at Eastbourne at Brighton University, Eastbourne campus. And it was the same testing that I did a couple of weeks ago, where you basically get some blood testing done, and then you have to lie down on a couch or on a bench for 45 minutes, trying to relax as much as possible. So that's my kind of testing. I like that. You had to breathe into an oxygen mask for 25 of those minutes.
What was really strange was when they put the mask on my face, they told me not to talk, which, as you can imagine, is quite difficult. But then, about 3 times, they proceeded to have a conversation with me. I don't know what they expected. Maybe they were trying to trick me. I resisted replying to them and would just put my thumb up. And then on Tuesday, Stephen and I are both going to a different campus to have a DEXA bone density scan. But I have no idea what to expect for that.
But again, the DEXA test is another one where we don't actually have to do any running, so that's good. 5 minutes to go of our run. Coming to the end of the first half in the England-Senegal game, 1-0 to England. Let's just have a look at how much time there is going to be added on. Sorry. Oh, yes. Yeah, John Farrell agrees about Messi. He watched Messi's highlights and didn't think it was as great as they made out. Totally. Right, Tina's... What, the DEXA test, Tina? Where they measure your bone density? Oh, just like an X-ray. Okay. You do it.
So, Tina, is it the whole body that they basically X-ray? Or do they just choose part of you? I shall be interested with the results. Because on Thursday... Okay, thank you. On Thursday, I had an appointment at the hospital about my hurty finger. And the lady looked at my original X-ray and she said, "Oh, you've got good bone density." Whatever that means. And can they tell? Can they tell from an X-ray? They can't be that strong if I broke my finger. Yeah, so Tina says whole body, and she had it done after she broke her shoulder. Stephen was shown his results on the computer screen when you finished, whereas I was told I would have to wait until next year.
Oh yeah, let's hope it's...
Or do you want to say that?
yeah, I've got to wait till next year for the actual results, but they just showed me what was on the computer screen when I finished resting last week, whenever it was. Right, 2.5 minutes left of our run. There are 2 minutes of injury time in the England game, so that's just about coming to an end for the first half. So we can all go and have a shower and get ready for the second half in our pyjamas and dressing gown. John Farrell says 2-0. Let's have a look. Yeah, Mendes Alfredo says goal. So let's have a look. England score again. Harry Kane. First goal of the tournament for Harry Kane. So I've got Senegal currently on the attack, but it's taken by England in midfield, and Jude Bellingham runs through the centre circle, and it's 2 against 1, and Harry Kane with an open goal, and 2-1, well, open goal apart from the keeper, and 2-0 to England. Harry Kane's first goal of the tournament. So there we are. Great goal, says Paul Hayward. 90 seconds left of our run, and that is a great end to the first half and a good watch. So thank you for joining us, everybody. That's really good. The first half is about to come to an end, and England lead 2-0 in the round of 16. So unless there's a miracle from Senegal, it'll have to be a heck of a fight back from Senegal in the second half. England will be playing France in the quarter-finals of the World Cup. So divided loyalties on one side of the household here. Obviously, we have some French relatives. But right, Heather's cottoned onto something now. She knows that listening to this stream, she'll get the information just slightly earlier than her husband, and she can go and tell her husband what the score is. I bet you are not popular at the moment. He is not happy with you, Heather. Very good. Right, everybody, 20 seconds to go. Thank you very much for joining. I know it was short notice. I did only put the advert up for this about an hour ago. So thank you for coming along. And we'll see you all. Well, Clive will see you tomorrow for the community run. I'm going to start training on the track from tomorrow, every Monday, to get a bit of speed in my legs. So that's Monday. And then we'll be back with me on Tuesday. And there we are, 7.5 kilometres done. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining. Appreciate it. Some good chat. Thank you, John Farrell, Clive, Tina, Heather, Paul Hayward, Alfredo, Mendes as well. Thank you very much, guys. Let's just quickly give Alfredo a ride on, because I don't think I did that earlier. Oh, maybe I did. Maybe I did, actually, because it's not coming. And Nikki as well for joining in the chat earlier as well. Take care, everyone, and we will see you on Monday with Clive, and I'll be back on Tuesday. Take care. Bye-bye.